What if I told you that one of the world's most dynamic, intelligent and game-controlling scrum halves wasn't just born in New Zealand, but was let go by New Zealand Rugby without ever wearing the black jersey? That's not fiction, that's the real story of Jamison Gibson-Park, a player with All Blacks DNA, skill and rugby IQ, but someone who had to go 18,000 kilometres across the world to finally be seen. While New Zealand stuck with familiar faces, Ireland opened the door, and what they got wasn't just another number 9. They got a maestro, a field general, a player so influential that he would be called the best scrum half in world rugby by none other than Wallaby legend Will Genia. But this video isn't just about how good he is now. This is about how New Zealand let him slip away. Jamison was born on Great Barrier Island, a remote, rugged part of New Zealand life where rugby isn't just a game, it's a heartbeat. His parents were Kiwis through and through, and like many kids growing up on the island, Jamison's childhood was all about the outdoors. He wasn't raised in a rugby academy pipeline, he was raised in the bush. At the age of 10, he moved to Gisborne, on the east coast of New Zealand's North Island, and it was there at Gisborne Boys High School where rugby started getting serious. His quick feet, vision and calmness under pressure set him apart early. In 2009, he was selected for the New Zealand secondary schools team. That's no small feat. It means you're among the top 15 schoolboy players in the entire country. From there, he joined the Taranaki Academy. While most eyes were on Auckland and Canterbury talent, Gibson-Park started building his resume in the provincial competitions. Between 2012 and 2015, he made 36 appearances for Taranaki and was soon scooped up by the Blues for Super Rugby. This was the moment he started knocking on the All Blacks' door, and knock he did. He played under Sir John Kirwan and then moved to the Hurricanes in 2016 under Chris Boyd. But here's where the system started working against him. Behind him, TJ Perenara was cemented in his role as number 2. Even Andy Ellis, Tawera Kubalo and Augustine Pulu were in the mix at times. For someone like Gibson-Park, it didn't matter how good you were stuck behind a wall of incumbents. By 2015, the writing was on the wall. He was seen as good but not elite. A workhorse, a solid provincial player. The kind of guy who'd make the Super Rugby squad but not quite break the All Black selectors' blinders. So what do you do when the jersey you dream of isn't coming your way? You go and make another one of yours. In 2016, Gibson-Park signed with Leinster, but it didn't make headlines in New Zealand. At that point, people thought he was just another journeyman Kiwi moving north for a paycheck. But what they didn't see was Gibson-Park had fire. He didn't go to Ireland to fade out, he went to reignite. His first few seasons with Leinster were steady. He wasn't handed the starting shirt, he had to earn it. And he did. He adapted quickly to European style. Slower rucks, heavier forwards and more structured play. Instead of relying on his natural flair, Gibson-Park developed world-class game management. He started dictating tempo, reading defences and becoming the link man every team dreams of having. He also ran into some unexpected hurdles. In 2017, visa complications caused a minor media stir when he and Isa Nasiwa were denied entry into South Africa for a Pro 14 match due to changes in travel policy. It was a bureaucratic mess, but it didn't derail him. By the 2020-21 season, Gibson-Park wasn't just part of Leinster. He was Leinster's heartbeat. Then came the big shift. After completing World Rugby's 3-year residency requirement, he became eligible to play for Ireland. Some purists weren't happy. They questioned the idea of project players. But when Gibson-Park made his debut in the 2020 Six Nations against Italy, even critics had to admit he'd looked like he'd been Irish his whole life. And then it happened. He exploded. By 2021, he had taken the 9 shirt off Conor Murray, an Irish rugby icon. Not many players could do that, but Gibson-Park brought something Ireland hadn't in years. Speed at the breakdown, rapid-fire service, and unpredictable movement around the ruck. He turned Ireland's attack from mediocre to deadly. And the biggest statement? Ireland's 2022 tour of New Zealand. On that tour, in front of the land that raised him, Gibson-Park didn't flinch. He helped orchestrate a historic 2-1 series victory, the first time Ireland had ever beaten the All Blacks on their home turf. The irony? Back in New Zealand, the rugby public finally started asking, wait, wasn't that our guy? By the time the 2023 Rugby World Cup rolled out, Gibson-Park had become Ireland's undisputed starter. In the pooled stage, he helped dismantle reigning champion South Africa. His pace, his vision, and his understanding of when to attack space made Ireland one of the most dangerous sides in the competition. Even though Ireland exited in the quarterfinals, his performances throughout the year earned him accolades. In 2024, he guided Ireland to another Six Nations Championship and a dominant victory over France, a 38-17 dismantling. That same year, Australia's Will Guinea declared Jamison Gibson-Park the best scrum half in world rugby right now, ranking him ahead of even Antoine Dupont. But let's take a step back for a second. How did New Zealand Rugby Union not see this coming? The truth is, the All Blacks have always had an abundance of halfbacks, but sometimes having too many options means you overlook the right one. The New Zealand Rugby Union system is built on loyalty and depth, but it also means players like Gibson-Park who didn't fit the traditional mould or who mature slightly later can slip through the cracks. And it wasn't like he was miles off. Gibson-Park had All Black level skills, but the selectors chose to stick with the safe picks. In doing so, they missed out on a player who would eventually dismantle them on the field. That's not just ironic, it's a stinging indictment. Gibson-Park didn't just find a new team in Ireland, he found a new identity. He'd become the face of a faster, more unpredictable Irish backline. He elevated not only his game, but the entire squad around him. And for a nation obsessed with challenging the world's best, he was the final missing piece. Now, with over 100 caps for Leinster, dozens for Ireland, a Grand Slam, and multiple trophies to his name, Gibson-Park's legacy is already written. But back home, he's a cautionary tale. You can develop a player, you can support him, but if you don't believe in him at the right moment, someone else will. And when they do, they just might build a dynasty around him. Off the field, his life is just as inspiring. He's married to Paddy Grogan, a former elite New Zealand judoka. Together, they've raised 3 children, Iris, Isabella, and Jai. In 2023, he officially became an Irish citizen, marking his full circle transformation from an island boy in New Zealand to an international star in Europe. What's even more incredible, he still carries that Kiwi humility. You won't see him trash talking or boasting. You'll see a player who quietly reshaped Irish rugby while staying true to his roots. He's the kind of guy who shakes hands with every teammate, thanks the kit manager, and leads by example. Yet for all the success and accolades, Jamison never speaks ill of New Zealand. There's no bitterness, just gratitude for where he come from and where he's going. So the next time someone tells you New Zealand rugby always gets it right, remember Jamison Gibson-Park. Remember that sometimes the best in the world isn't the one in the black jersey, but the one that got away. If you enjoyed this story and want more real, powerful rugby journeys, like, share and subscribe to the channel as we've got plenty more tales coming your way. Thanks guys, and see you next time.